It's so much deeper than you're under no obligation to live out somebody else's story, because of course you're not. But here's where it gets really good. Not only are you under no obligation to live out somebody else's story, you are also under no obligation to even continue living out your own story. Hear me, people, hear me when I say this. So I'm going to zip on in with this. Now, I've just come home. I had a meeting today with a member of our Indigenous community here in Australia, who teaches the Indigenous culture to those of us who need to know a little bit more about it, and just making people in the workplace and so on, and general society, aware of what the requirements are and the differences and the amazing cultural stories that they have to share that we are literally just not even aware of. He said something really amazing this afternoon that I was like, stop, like, hold everything. It was really incredible. He said, no, this is your tweetable and this is your take home from the live stream. Amongst the clowning around, I always give you a nugget, a take home, a tweetable, and this is it. This is it. Hold on to your horses. You are under no obligation to live out somebody else's story. I said, what is the biggest lesson that you are sharing with the Indigenous Aboriginal youth now in Australia? And the biggest lesson, and he said they are under no obligation to live out somebody else's story. Just because their parents may have lived a certain way, they don't have to hold themselves accountable to those standards. They can raise themselves higher. They could go lower if they chose to, but we would be pushing them higher. You are under no obligation to live out somebody else's story. And I thought, oh Lord, honey, hold everything, because that is for us. That is so much for us. I thought, child, that is it. Like, that is everything. You are under no obligation to live out somebody else's story, but it goes even deeper than that. It gets better. It gets better. I thought about this as I got home, and I thought, not only are you under no obligation to live out somebody else's story, somebody else's requirements for you. You know, we've all had, you know what this is like. We've had the mothers that have like, don't you eat that? What are you eating? You should be watching your calories. That's got nothing to do with you and your calories. That's got everything to do with the mother that was stressed out over her weight and her body and her self-image over her whole life and her years. That's why they do these things. Now, I'm very blessed, and I don't have a mother like that, but I know so many of the girls that I work with, that is a big thing. Some of us also have our dads that are on that train. They're like, you sure you should be eating that? You're like, you do want a fork in your face? You sure you want to ask me that? Little E's, if you're watching that, forks in the face, unadvisable. Auntie Kylie says, don't put forks in people's faces. It's so much deeper than you're under no obligation to live out somebody else's story, because of course you're not. But here's where it gets really good. Not only are you under no obligation to live out somebody else's story, you are also under no obligation to even continue living out your own story. Hear me, people, hear me when I say this. Here we are. This is Thursday now in my little corner in my little neck of the woods. It's Thursday. We're heading on into the weekend. Not only that, let's just look at the different signs. We all in diet land, right? As the queen of dieting divas, you know, that used to be me. We like our signs, like, oh, I like certain dates on the calendar. This is going to be really good, and I'm for sure going to lose weight because the stars are aligned and Tinkerbell will dance. It'll be amazing. But of course, that's also not a thing. But we are heading into March. We're heading into, you know, almost the first sort of quarter of the year. Like, we're chugging along there. And just because it may not have, maybe you got off to a phenomenal start. Yay. Clap emojis for you. I didn't. My start wasn't phenomenal. It wasn't much different from the way last year ended. It just, the calendar doesn't know. Doesn't care, right? The universe doesn't know, doesn't care what date it is. It's not going to magically make your life fantastic on January 1st. My life just rolled right on into the continuation of the place that it was in, and it's continued to roll on that way. That's fine. But I'm saying to you, you don't have to continue to live out your story. You can change it anytime. Just because you've had a rough time in the past, just because you come from an area or a location that, oh, we don't do that, or we're not like that, I'm not good enough for that. All of my family are overweight. I'll never be able to get past this. My mum emotionally ate for her whole years. Must be in my genes. I'll never be able to get past this. You are under no obligation to continue to live out your own story. If you had a bad childhood, if you did bad things in your childhood, when I say bad, it's all a matter of perception anyway. If you did things that you wish now as an adult, didn't we all, that you didn't do. If you made some poor choices back then, If somebody did something to you back then, hear me, this is for my ladies. This is for my ladies in the house. If somebody did something to you back then that does not make you a certain type of person, or it does not make you bound to be living out that story over and over and over and over again, not a thing, not a thing. I'm literally going to close here for several reasons. One, I'm dripping in sweat. It's really, really hot. It's not at all attractive, is it? You know, you would say you're perspiring, you're glowing. No, 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 dude, I'm sweating. It's really hot. Okay, let's be real. Let's be real here. You are under no obligation to live out anybody else's story. What they had, their hopes for you, their dreams for you. That's fantastic. That's their hopes and dreams. It's got nothing to do with you. It's got nothing to do with you. It's got nothing to do with you. You are also under no obligation to continue living out your own stories. You can change your path, your direction, your decisions anytime you like. It doesn't even have to be tomorrow. It's a fresh start. No, what about right now? Right now, any time is a fresh start. And you know what? I don't even know how I feel about the term fresh start, because it implies in order to have a fresh start, it must mean that there was something messy and so on that you're leaving behind. Nothing in your life is messy. Nothing in your life is bad. No choices that you've made are we don't need to put these labels on things that are going to sort of denigrate or make you feel bad about yourself in any way, okay? For you to say, I need a fresh start, would imply that you've done something wrong now. And that's not true. It doesn't have to be that way. Please, please hear me when I say this. For you to say, well, tomorrow I'll start again. Tomorrow I'll get it right. Tomorrow is a fresh start. No, you don't even need a fresh start. You just need to change your mindset and understand that you're under no obligation. Just because a snowball has started running downhill, you are more powerful than any stupid snowball, okay? Think about it. Snow, you're more powerful. You are. You can just hold up that cute little hand of yours and go, that's enough now. I'm going to choose a new decision and walk a new direction, make a different path, leave a different legacy behind me for the people that I love, and be a monumental source of inspiration for myself and others moving forward. So with that, again, no idea if I've wrapped this up in 7 minutes, but it's been a pretty tidy one. Despite the fact that we had to have two goes at it, come at it from a few different angles, we still had a giggle, we had a laugh. It was fabulous. It was fabulous. Thoroughly appreciate your presence here. Thoroughly appreciated. Please do take the tweetable, just take the nugget from this. You know, amongst all the clowning around, there is a nugget here. You're under no obligation to live out anybody else's story for your life. That's their hopes and their dreams, most likely for their life that they didn't meet, and so they're pushing them onto you. But not only that, as I sweat it out here, you're under no obligation to continue living out your own story. You can chop and change that any way you like. It's your damn right. It's your life. It's yours. Do with it as you will, people. Do with it as you will. Just make it a good one. I'm sending you so much love. So much love, so much amazing squishiness. Please do remember, the only person who can change your life is you. You know it. I say it to you all the time. I'm drumming it into your head. I'm not wasting my time on words that aren't true. I'm telling you the truth. The only person that can change your life is you. When you step up and understand that you do not have to live out somebody else's story, and not only that, you never did. You've always had the power, my dear, as Glinda the Good Witch says. She says it. It's definitely true. You've always had the power. You do have what it takes. Sending you big love. I will catch you all again very soon. Until then, my sexy ones, bye for now. I'm like trying to see into the camera, like, you know, who's there? Kylie, that's not a thing. Hello, not a thing.